lied here. It said we were going to be benching 3 times a week, and we're benching every day. Wednesday bench, Thursday bench, Friday bench, Saturday bench. So this is 14 sets of pressing movements. That's like an entire week of chest volume in one day. 4 times, 5 times. So you hit abs 5 times in a week on a powerlifting program. What are we doing? Okay, welcome back everyone. So today we're going to be doing a fun video. We're going to be asking a couple different AI large language models to create me a powerlifting program. So here we go. We're going to start off with Gemini, and we're going to do Claude and then ChatGPT, and we will evaluate how these do. For personal trainers like myself, we're kind of a little bit scared about the future of these AI models because, that they will probably be good enough eventually that they will replace us along with most other professions. So we're going to see if we're at that point yet. Okay, so here's our prompt. We're going to be using the same prompt for each AI model. So this is just going to be customized for me. This is how I can objectively measure these programs and compare them with my own training. So I'm an advanced powerlifter looking to try a new program. I'm 21 years old. I weigh 240 pounds. I have 5.5 years of experience training. My squat is 585 pounds. My bench is 385 pounds. My deadlift is 675 pounds. Write me a program that is 5 weeks long with 6 days of training per week. I want to squat 2 times per week, bench 3 times per week, and deadlift 2 times per week. You can fill in the accessories as necessary. So here we go. Let's go ahead and put this into Gemini and let's see what it gives us. So we got a couple side recommendations with warm-ups, cool-downs, nutrition, rest, and listening to your body. So these are all good. Yes, pretty generic. So I'm not a big fan of the cooldown. I don't think cooldowns aren't necessary. Like why can't you just stop? Like why can't you just do your exercise and then just stop? Like I don't feel like there's a reason to be doing a cooldown with static stretches. So static stretching especially is not very common in powerlifting. Like there's some studies out there that show that like static stretches actually decrease force production prior to performing those movements. Like if you do static stretches on your quads, you'll probably actually be weaker if you go right into a quad movement right afterwards. So that's kind of this feels a little bit outdated. I'm not sure what training information this Gemini model has been trained on, but let's go ahead and continue here. So looks like we have a week 1 to 3 strength phase, and week 4 is a deload week, and week 5 is a peak week. So this actually, yeah, let's dive into the details here. Okay, so week 1 to 3, I'm trying to look at how it progresses. Okay, so let's take a look at the Monday workout. So Monday is squat, Tuesday is bench, Wednesday is deadlift, then we have squat, bench, deadlift. So that looks to be 2 days of bench. Let's see if there's a third day of bench hiding in somewhere. Yeah, so I requested 3 days of bench, if you can look up here in this program, and they only gave me 2 days of bench. So off the bat, that's not something, if your client requests something like that and you don't put that in, it's not ideal. not the best program generation right there already, especially because 3 times a week is pretty standard for most powerlifters. Yeah, so let's analyze this a bit more. So we have the Monday squat. So we got 3 sets of 5 at 75% of your 1 rep max. So I'm going to pull up a calculator real quick. Actually, let me actually just pull up the calculator app, and we can look at this. So 75 times 585. So yeah, that's going to be reasonable. That should be about like RP 4, because I could probably hit about 11 reps with that all out. So this starts at about RP 4, 75%. And then we do 3 sets of leg press. This is a decent accessory, a decent quad accessory. Hamstring curls. I would prefer the hamstring curls get put on the deadlift day because, if we separate our hamstring volume and our deadlift volume across different days, then you're going to be basically hitting your hamstrings like 4 times a week, and that kind of sounds like a recipe for horrific injury. So I don't like that already. Then we have calf raises. You know, I'm not sure, like calf raises really aren't important in powerlifting. They're like, you know, you're not going to use them hardly at all in your squat or deadlift. And yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know why this is in there. Like yeah, it's okay. Most powerlifters I know don't train calves at all. Okay, now we have our bench day. So this is another 3x5. It's kind of worrying that the squat and bench volume are the same. Like I don't think this AI model understands that you can take a little bit more volume on these smaller muscle groups, like on bench. You can definitely handle a little bit more volume, but it does look like we have quite a few other movements here that do hit chest. So we have a total of 9 sets of chest in one bench workout. So 6 sets per muscle group per session is about the limit of effective volume. Anything beyond that, it's debatable whether or not it actually helps. And I can understand if you're doing a lot of like low intensity technique work on like your main competition bench movement, you could probably handle quite a few more sets. But this is a lot of bodybuilding work right here, like another 6 sets of chest. Yeah, this is really why the third day of bench is useful, because you can move some of this volume towards that third day, so you're not just getting blasted with 9 sets of chest. And it does seem kind of like we're missing out on a lot of other upper body muscle groups. Like we're basically just hitting chest and triceps in this workout, and you could throw in things like some shoulder movements or bicep movements, or maybe even some back movements. But it looks like we do those on the deadlift day. So if we go here to the deadlift day. Yeah, we have 1 set of 5 reps at 80%, so that's going to be, like, for me, 0.8 times 675. Yeah, that would actually be reasonably tough for me to do, especially on a first week. Even though it is 1 set, it's going to be a bit hard. Like, my 6 rep max is, like, 565, so that's only 25 pounds more with another rep, so this should be pretty tough. Yeah, then we have 3 pull-ups, 3 sets to failure. Yeah, that's fine. Face pulls, another 3 sets, and barbell rows. So this is like 9 sets of back in the same workout. Like, so I typically do like 3 back days per week, and I actually, you know, I take that back. I actually hit similar volume, because on a typical back day, I will do like 3 sets of a lat pull down or a row, 3 sets of a pullover, and then I will hit face pulls about twice a week for 4 sets. So I think this is fine. Yeah, that is reasonable back volume. Okay, we have our second squat day right here. We got a 3x3 at 85%. So yeah, we're getting up there into the higher weight. Like let me check and see what that is. 0.85 times 585. So that should be doable. It's going to be hard. Again, for a first week, this is really tough. And it doesn't look like there's, like, it says that this should be week 1 to 3. I might need to look at and see what else it says, but there's not really any progression going on here. I'm not sure if it is like recommending that you do the same exact weight like 3 weeks in a row, because that would be really bad. that would be a terrible recommendation. Okay. Actually, yeah, sorry, where are we at? We're right here on squat. And then it's asking for front squat and lunges. So this is 9 sets of quads, which, like, you're not going to be walking normal after that. That's kind of, oh, man, yeah. I don't know if I could do this. Yeah, you're going to be burning after this. So I don't know if this is very ideal. Like this has a place maybe as a hypertrophy, like an hypertrophy block, but I don't know. It seems kind of unusual to be pairing that with like a 3x3 squat, which you would normally see like later in a strength or peaking block. And again, here we have the calves. So if you're gonna train calves like 2 times a week, you know, it's probably a little bit excessive. Like you can probably get away with just 1 time a week and see most of the benefits there. Especially if you're a powerlifter, you don't need these calf raises in your program. They're not going to be helping you out much. Here we have our second bench day. So 3 sets of 3. You know, again, it's worrying that it's using the same volume for like your squat and your bench. You can definitely handle a little bit more like competition bench volume than you can like a squat. Like you're really only seeing 6 sets of competition bench a week, which is, really terrible if you're trying to improve your form there. It's not going to be enough, especially for some of the younger lifters or people that are just beginning their powerlifting careers, because they're going to need the technique work the most, and this isn't going to be giving you that. And once again, a total of 9 sets of chest with like sets of failure on dips. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Plus your tricep extensions afterwards. So lots and lots of chest and triceps, but again, not a lot of upper body accessories. They're kind of missing some of the core bodybuilding accessories that some people might want to see. Like, I understand I didn't specify that, but most people are going to want to hit like biceps and delts at least once per week. Then we have our second deadlift day. So on this program, they are only giving us 2 sets of competition deadlift per week. We have our 1 set of 5 and our 1 set of 3. That's kind of ridiculous. And 90% is very heavy, like, especially for me. Like, there's a reason I included my lifts, and because it should be obvious to an experienced programmer that a 90% triple for someone like me is going to be a lot harder than someone like half my strength. It's like a triple at this would be something I'd have to train for. This is not like a week 1 thing. I would not want to be doing that. Like, I might be able to grind it out, but there's going to be some injury risk there. I would need to acclimate to something like this before attempting that. Then we have our Romanian deadlifts here. This is good. These have a place in any deadlift program. Very good for posterior chain growth, and then back extensions. And this is where I'd be kind of hesitant to be placing back extensions right after a bunch of deadlifting. But like maybe that would have had a place probably in the first deadlift day, because we're only doing 1 set of deadlift, and then we do literally no other posterior chain work. So if we could move the back extensions to the first deadlift day, I think that'd be better. All right, sorry, we're taking a lot of time. Let's get through this real quick. We have our deload week right here. I wish there was more detail here. But yeah, they just want you to reduce the weight and volume of all exercises. So typically in a normal powerlifting peaking program, you will reduce the weight in the week leading up to the week that you test your maxes or before a meet. And so this is generally good advice right here, but I wish there was more detail. And then here is our peak week. So we have our 1 set of 5 at 80%, which for me is 585. Like, you could probably go way higher than this. Like, this is not really a weight. Like, I've been able to do sets of 5 at this weight for years now. I think something closer to like 495 would definitely be more of a peak week activity. Like 80% seems way too low for a peak week. You don't just deload for a week to hit 80% for sets of 5. Like that's kind of stupid. And then for some reason there's still the bodybuilding accessories in the peaking week. Like presumably you want to be taking these out so that you can save your energy for your other lifts that you're going to be peaking later in the week. Generally you decrease volume leading into a peak. You don't just keep it the same. So this is very strange. And here we have our bench. Like, it's interesting that these aren't like 1 rep maxes we're going for, because I told it I wanted a powerlifting program, but it's giving me like, we're testing sets of 5 and 3 here. This is not typically what a powerlifter does. And again, we still have the bodybuilding rep ranges in here. Very strange. So I would say the deadlift program is the weirdest out of this one. So we have on the first deadlift day, we have a set of 3 at 95%, and then a set of 1 at 95%. Like, what is going on here? Like you do it for a triple at this weight, and then you hit it for a set of 1 later in the week. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I would say, let's wrap this up here on Gemini. I would say this is a very lackluster program. I would not be using AI to generate work, like advanced powerlifting routines. It does not seem like it's at the point yet to actually provide anything very useful. And maybe that's because they just haven't trained it on a lot of like modern powerlifting literature. I doubt they do. It's kind of a niche sport. All right, here we go. We're on to Claude now. Okay, we're gonna paste in the same prompt and let's see what it gives us. So Claude is supposed to be, I understand, a little bit better than ChatGPT on coding, at least. I'm not sure how it's going to behave on this, but let's check this out. Okay, so we've got our 5-week program. It's hopefully it actually gets the 3 times a week on bench. The Gemini did not. Okay, so it's going to be using a conjugate style approach. So this is an old school powerlifting technique. I'm surprised it even knows about this, and I'm a little bit scared to see how it implements these. So we actually do get some progressive overload, or at least it says it will. The last program did not feature any of that. And we got lots of accessory work here. Okay, so let's check out the Monday workout. I'm just gonna scroll here a little bit. So it looks like they give us the day workouts, and it's gonna give us some progressive overload strategies here at the bottom. So yeah, reasonable. I wish it was more detailed. Again, like ideally I would like these programs to be given to me in like a spreadsheet form, but these large language models aren't to that point yet. We might be able to see that in about a year or so, but not for now. They can't do that. Okay, so we have our Monday squat and upper hypertrophy. So I'm already liking this mix of like a main powerlifting movement day along with some other accessories that aren't related. The other one just seemed very fixed and only, like, you know, it would only put the bench days on dedicated bench days and it wouldn't mix them in with some of the other days that we would need. And on a 6-day-a-week program where you're hitting 3 movements, you're going to need to probably put something like a squat and bench on the same day, which is what I do in my current program. So we have our week 1 to 2, we do a box squat, and in typical conjugate style, we're going to be switching squat accessories. I thought that like in the conjugate style of training, you would normally stick with one variation for the whole block, and then you would switch block to block. This one, it looks like it switches it in the middle of the block, which sounds like a terrible idea. That does not sound good. Yeah, I don't feel like there's any reason to do that. You kind of lose out on any kind of adaptation you make towards those accessory movements. So very weird. Yeah, so we do a box squat, a pin squat, and then on week 5 we do our competition squat for the first time in a month. Like you're gonna be squatting for the first time as you're testing your max. That's insane. So yeah, 70-85% of your 1 rep max, 5 to 8 sets of 2 to 3 reps. So that is, yeah, that's yeah. I don't know what to say about that. Like 8 triples, on these squat variations, very strange. Yeah. Yeah, bench press. So we're gonna be benching on the first day as well. 5x5. You know, that's reasonable. Pause bench or close grip variations. I wish there was some more detail here, but this is good information. Yeah, 5x5 pause bench. That's fine. Accessory work, barbell rows, tricep extensions, ab wheel rollout. So I would say overall this is probably okay, aside from the needless switching of squat variations. You could probably get away with, you know, I think a 5x3 for a competition squat would be that would be a fine main squat day workout, as long as you're hitting some extra accessory volume there. I'm kind of worried that there's no mention of like a squat accessory on the main squat day. That's kind of worrying. Here we have our Tuesday bench and lower hypertrophy workout. So we have our so this is going to be the max effort bench day, and again we're going to be doing the needless rotation of accessories or of variations across the block. Yeah, 3 to 5 sets of 2 to 3 reps. I'm confused as to why the volume is lower for this bench day than it is for the squats on the squat day. Again, it just seems kind of arbitrary. Like normally you can take more volume on your bench than squat, and it just confuses me as to why the volume is lower here. But it is heavier. Like if we, like, what is 85% of my bench? Okay, so yeah, that is probably doable for triples, but it's going to be hard. Probably not a week 1 thing. This is more like a week 3 or 4 wait for me. I probably couldn't do this week 1. Then on the same day, we're going to be doing deadlifts. So we bench and deadlift. I'm kind of interested to see how the remainder of this week shakes out, because we already have a bench on a squat day and a bench on a deadlift day. Yeah, so the remainder of this day is kind of strange. So we have our couple sets of triples on bench, and then I'm so confused about like how it's justifying these variation rotations here. Like, we're going from RDLs to deficit deadlifts to competition deadlifts. So you like literally do not do a competition deadlift until you're maxing out, which is crazy. Like, you're going to injure something, your form is going to be shit. This is such a terrible idea. But we have like 4 sets of 5 to 6 reps at like 75 to 80%. So like, let's go, like, I just want to see what this is right here. Yeah, so 80% of my 1 rep max is 540. So like 5 to 6 reps, very hard. Very, very hard. I think even 75% might be a struggle here. Like, so 75% would be doable, I think, for 4 sets of 5 to 6. But yeah, as long as we're making that progression week to week, that should be fine. But again, here we have our weighted pull-ups and our dumbbell lateral raises. So I'm glad to see we actually have some bodybuilding accessories in here and some Bulgarian split squats. So this is not something I'm happy about. So this is mostly a quad accessory, and we have this on our bench and deadlift day. Like, so we literally squat the day before, and then we do a squat accessory, a quad exercise the day after. So your quads are gonna be sore all week. That is not something I like to see. So then we have our dynamic effort day. 8 to 10 sets of 2 reps. This feels so conjugate. This is totally a conjugate thing. I have no idea why they're deciding to do this. This might work really well if you're an equipped lifter, but like, you know, 50 to 60%, 10 sets of 2, like, that is so light. That is so light. Yeah, for me, that's like 300 pounds. Like, that's something I could literally hit for 20 reps. This is like assuming I'm an equipped lifter. Maybe I need to specify that. You know, if I do this again, I'm going to, we may do one in the future when the LLMs are a little bit stronger, and we will specify that we are a raw power lifter. That's kind of annoying they didn't ask about this, because now I'm thinking it assumes I'm an equipped lifter, which I'm not. And then here we have good mornings on our squat day. And this, keep in mind, these good mornings are also technically a deadlift accessory, because they work a lot of the posterior chain, the glutes and hamstrings, and we're doing these the day after our deadlifts, where we're doing things like RDLs. So that does not sound good. Your posterior chain is going to be on fire this whole week. This feels like a CrossFit programming type thing. I remember back when I did CrossFit, we would just hit back exercises like every day. I was perpetually sore. So this is scary. Yeah. And then we have our other bench day. So let's break this down. In the first 3 days of the week, we bench every day. Bench on Monday, bench on Tuesday, bench on Wednesday. What? Okay, and then we do another bench day. So I think it lied here. It said we were going to be benching 3 times a week, and we're benching every day. It's Wednesday bench, Thursday bench, Friday bench, Saturday bench. So it's not like it's not doing what I asked it to do. We're benching 6 times a week when I said I wanted to bench 3 times a week. So that's just crazy. And then we have squat again. Like, it just seems like it totally botched the frequencies here, because we're squatting once, twice, 3 times, 4. How many times are we deadlifting? We got 1, 2. So I think it got the deadlift days right. Okay, I'm not even going to continue reviewing this. This is just, this immediately turned into a train wreck. You would not want to run this. This would not work. Yeah. Wow. You might be able to get away with it because there's so many technique days. But it just seems like a total waste of time. Like, you're not going to be getting much strength adaptation from, hitting doubles on 50 to 60% of your max, even if you are doing speed work where you're going really fast. Speed work really isn't used in raw powerlifting very much, or at least not at the typical percentages that is used for the equipped lifters. Okay, we're totally gonna skip the rest of this. I guess we can look at the progressive overload strategy. It wants you to increase main lift weights by about 5 pounds each week, 2.5 to 5 pounds. I think this is really slow. For someone my strength, a single RPE point on something like squat is gonna be about 15 to 20 pounds. And so if you're only increasing like by 5 pounds each week, that's really an increase of like less than a third of an RPE. So I guess it's okay if you want to keep RPE steady throughout the block, but I like to take, I like to do sort of a wave progression where I'll do like a hypertrophy block that starts at RPE 6 and then goes 7, 8, 9, and then we pop down to RPE 6 for the strength block and we climb again. So if there's not really a drastic increase in intensity across the block, I think that might not be the best. But okay, yeah. So this is terrible. We're going to ChatGPT now. Here we go. Let's type in our prompt, and let's watch it generate our program. Okay, now this is the one I am most optimistic for. Let's go ahead and see what it's giving us. So we got the program overview. We got week 1 to 4 is going to be progressive overload on main lifts and moderate volume for accessories, and then week 5 taper for performance testing or peaking. So I like this already. So we got squat and bench for volume, deadlift and accessories, bench focus, squat variations and hypertrophy, deadlift and bench, and hypertrophy / weak point training. So I would prefer that. So obviously we're going to have to bench and do like a deadlift or squat on the same day, but I'm kind of annoyed that it decided to put one of the other bench days on another day we do one of the heavy lower body movements. Like I would have preferred that bench gets put to like the 6th day, because I'm kind of worried at what they're gonna put in for the hypertrophy / weak point training. Typically that is better put after doing a main lift, because otherwise there's going to probably be some overlap, which I'm kind of scared of. So here we go. So week 1 to 4, we're going to start at 65% and go to 85% of the 1 rep max with increasing intensity weekly and accessory. So I wish there was a little bit more information here. Hopefully they provide us with some more detailed explanations later on, because this can be kind of hard to apply on your own. Like the whole reason we're asking for a program here is to, get these details clarified. And accessory lifts, 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Up, this is fine. Okay, here we go. Day 1, so squat and bench volume. So we got squat 4x6, 70 to 75%. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be fine, like 0.7 times 585. So maybe a bit light, but this would definitely be a good week 1 weight, especially if we get closer to 75%. But that should be fine. Then we have bench press 4x6. And we got our Bulgarian split squats. This is a fantastic quad accessory, incline dumbbell bench, and lat pull downs or pull ups, and then some abs for trunk stability. So I actually think this actually looks like a fine workout right here. We get our main squat and our squat accessory along with some good bench accessories. So a little bit on the higher end of volume, but I think this is totally fine, especially for like the start of a hypertrophy block. I think that's fine. So good workout so far. Here we have our deadlift day, 4x5. This is very, very reasonable starting weight for deadlift. And then we have a 3x6 with snatch grip deadlifts. So let's see, what would that be? Like 0.6 times 675. So 405 for a 3x6 snatch grip deadlifts. That's doable. So I would say that this is a little bit high volume for a deadlift day, but the intensity is low enough that this is probably very doable. Like in the past, I've done days where I've done about 6 sets of deadlift and deadlift accessories, and I think it works out fine if you get the intensity right. So that actually looks pretty reasonable. Then we have barbell rows, perfect, amazing back accessory. Then hip thrusts or glute bridges. So I would be really skeptical about putting this in another posterior chain movement after we've already done like 7 sets of deadlift. So I'm not liking that too much. If this was like a really light movement, then I could probably justify it. But typically, you have to go really high weight on hip thrusts, and that might be adding a little bit like excessive fatigue. on a day that's already high on volume. So kind of worried about that right there. If you go on to our bench focus day, looks like we have 4x4, then a 3x6. So that's already, we're kind of capping out on volume right there. I would be hesitant to add any more, but then we add in another 3 sets of overhead dumbbell press. So we're getting like, what is that? 10 sets of pressing movements. And then, then it gets even worse. A 4x10 on dips. So this is 14 sets of pressing movements. Like, that is not good. That's like an entire week of chest volume in one day. This is a Trend Twins workout. I do not like that. I don't think there's any way you could justify this. And then here we have our chest supported rows. This is a good back movement, and then some tricep pushdowns. So your triceps will be nuked already by this point, because we're going to be hitting our triceps pretty excessively in our close grip bench, our seated overhead dumbbell bench, and dips. So along with the 14 sets of pressing movements, we are also doing what the hell is this? Like another 14 sets of triceps as well, overlapping. So very scary. This does not seem like it. You would get injured doing this. I'm pretty sure. Very terrible. Okay. Then here we have our squat variations in hypertrophy day. So we have our 4x5, and then some high bar pause squat. So I think this is fine for a main squat day, but we've already hit a lot of quad volume earlier in the week, and you're gonna feel this. Like, I think this. So we have 7 sets of quads earlier in the week, and then what is this? 11 sets. So like this is about 18 sets of quads in a week. That's gonna be really hard to do as a powerlifter, especially a more advanced lifter. You're probably not gonna be able to recover from that. That seems a bit insane. This workout alone is crazy. We got 7 sets of squatting right here, and then 4 sets of leg press, so 11 sets of quads. Terrifying. And then some Romanian deadlifts right here, and some hamstring curls. And I'm confused about why these hamstring curls and Romanian deadlifts are on the squat day, especially when we have a deadlift day that comes immediately afterwards. So technically we are deadlifting 3 times a week already, once we come to this deadlift day, because we hit our main deadlift day, and then we hit some Romanian deadlifts, and then we hit our next deadlift day. So this is you're deadlifting 3 times a week now, which you should not be doing that. Even 2 days a week is pushing it. Like, I typically do a main deadlift day and sort of a half deadlift day, which is a deadlift accessory day. I don't do a competition deadlift twice a week. I do just once a week, and then I do have my accessories. So like, you're not gonna survive this. Like, you could probably get away with a main deadlift day and then 2 sort of half accessory deadlift days, but I don't see the point in doing that. This seems like a recipe for disaster. You're hitting deadlifts the day before, and then right here as well. So yeah, you're gonna be so sore in this program. And then we have some more bench, rows, and floor presses. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of dumbbell floor presses. Like, I feel like you're just limiting the range of motion right there. Like, the whole reason you use dumbbells is so you can get a larger range of motion, where you can't with the barbell, so you can get your arms a bit deeper than where the barbell typically contacts your chest. And I think turning that into a floor press kind of completely undermines the purpose of a dumbbell bench. But some more abs right here. If you're going to do abs, you probably only want to do that about once or twice a week, but it looks like we already have it once, twice, 3, 4 times. So you're 5 times. So you hit abs 5 times in a week on a powerlifting program. What are we doing? There are so many other things we could be doing. Abs 5 times a week is not it. Okay, let's wrap this up right here. We got our day 6. So safety bar squat. So how many times a week are we squatting now? Like, I don't feel like these guys, these AI, they don't understand the workout frequencies that I asked them to give me. Like, so we squat once, Where is the next one? Twice. And we're squatting a third time. You know, they just lie to you. Yeah. They're not doing the frequencies that I asked for. And more incline bench, dumbbell lunges. So you're just going to be bombing with a bunch more quad volume here. And then we do a lot of bodybuilding accessories, which I actually like this. But in the context of the rest of the program, it's just terrible. Like, and even just looking at how many movements are in these workouts, these are really long. The total set and rep volume in these workouts is very long. Like, you're going to be pushing 2 hours on almost all of these, if you do it at the percentages that it wants. So yeah, dude, good luck. I'd love to see someone try to run this. They'd probably die. But final thoughts here. So increase load each week by 2.5 to 5%, which is that's fine. But with this kind of volume, you're just gonna get torn to shreds. There's no way you could ever keep this up. And yep, these are, I would say the accessories, the 1 to 2 minutes rest is kind of flawed. Like, you can get away with 1 to 2 minutes on very like isolating exercises or just small movements like face pulls or like a tricep extension, but I find 1 to 2 minutes certainly not adequate for most accessories, especially compound accessories like a row or a press. All right, that's it for the video. That was kind of a long one. This is pretty interesting to make. You know, I tried to do this about a year ago, and I was interested to see how like ChatGPT would perform at creating a program, and it has not improved much at all since. So it's kind of worrying. I was hoping that we could get some more insightful information here, but I would assume that until they get some good training data or some insights from current industry professionals, that we're not probably going to see a lot of improvement here, just because I feel like a lot of expert powerlifting knowledge is mostly anecdotal and comes from coaches learning from the athletes that they train, and that information really isn't available on the internet, at least at a large scale. So I hope you guys like watching the video, and let me know if you enjoyed it, and we might make one of these in the future. But thanks for watching. See ya.